you said that you think you were born to do this.
Yeah.
You're now,
Yeah.
what, 6 years in or something to ShearShare?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it,
So
it feels like 60, Elijah, but yeah, just six.
and also 3 days at the same time,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
um, I can relate so much. So 6 years in, and this definitely resonates with you, right? You're born to do this. Do you think entrepreneurs are born this way and then they find it? Or do you think they are made and adapted? And the reason I ask is I often talk to people who, again, glamorizes the idea of entrepreneurship. And for people like you truly enjoy every second, all the scrapes, the bruises, every single step, but you
Right.
enjoy all of it. Do you think more people should try it out and see if they're fit for it? Or do you think it really is that hard and it's, it's probably born into you and you either enjoy it or you don't? But
Yeah.
it's not for everyone.
Oh, that's hard. It's always like that nurture versus nature question, right? Um, I don't know the answer to that yet, but I do know that if I could go back and do it again, even in raising our son and mentoring other female founders, even in corporate America and beyond, I definitely know what I know for sure beyond a shadow of a doubt that people should definitely focus in on their strengths. You can always staff your weaknesses, right? And so if your strength ends up being serving as a tech founder, or your strength is like an amazing accountant and you could be the best CFO out there. If your strength is in sales, or if you're a great engineer, or maybe you're a wonderful marketeer, like tech companies and entrepreneurs of any kind need those things because these are all small business traits that you need in order to be successful. So I would say first, definitely push into and lean into your strengths. I wish that schools and traditional educational institutes would remind kids about that. I know that, yeah, I went to a military high school, was always at a private school or institution, Catholic schools growing up. And it always felt like, as I think back, right, it always felt as if everybody wanted you to be well rounded. Oh, you need to be not just good in math, but you need to be an amazing writer. And you also need to know how to cook or have some kind of skill set outside of traditional schools. And as I've gotten older and the longer I live, the more I think, gosh, I wish that because I knew that I was awesome in English or like making things look and sound appealing, i.e., marketing and advertising, that I would have just thrown everything into that direction and then worried about the other stuff later. Like, what's that quote about, becoming an expert? It takes like 10,000 hours or something like
Right.
that.
Right.
Right. And that really boils down to like 18 minutes a day over the course of like 10 years. And if you just think about that, like you could end up being better than 95% of the world in that particular niche just by giving yourself 20 minutes a day to do something over and over again and be disciplined about it. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a nature versus nurture thing, but I do know that no matter what, you should lean in on your strengths. And if that ends up becoming entrepreneurship, awesome. If not, then you're going to be a great support staff for an entrepreneur.
I love that. I recently started actually getting, how we hear something, you hear it all your life, you read it, you see people talk about it, and you're like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that makes sense. And then finally it clicks and you're like, oh, now I get it. So for me, recently I've been kind of clicking with lean into your strengths and
Mm,
just forget the rest.
yeah.
There's such a dichotomy. I love that you touched on the education aspect because in
Yeah.
education, it's you need to be good at everything. If you're failing in other classes, it's not like, well, you're really crushing it in art, but you're
I,
sucking at math. So
yeah.
therefore, it's not like you can make it up in school. But in the real world, in life, in corporations or
Yeah.
entrepreneurship or consulting, that is how it works. If you're really good at that one
Yeah.
thing, they don't really care if you're doing your own bookkeeping. If you
No,
hire someone else to do your bookkeeping, that's
no.
fine, right?
I have never asked our CFO what were her grades in math and English. I have never
Right.
asked our engineer, how'd you do in well, whatever foreign language you had to study in high school. I've never asked those questions. I'm like, I'm hiring you because you're the best at XYZ. And that's the skill set that I want you to be able to come in and provide for this company. Yeah, it's so interesting how things kind of shift once you get through traditional education in the US, graduate high school, and even like college. And then all of a sudden people tell you, oh, forget about all the little things that people told you that, oh, you need to study extra hard because you were failing in. I just want you here for this one particular thing. Funny how that works.
In
Yeah, you and I, we're going to take
eventually,
over the world,
yes,
Elijah.
yes.